Hi, I'm Brad Batesel, and welcome to Google AdWords Essential Training. In this course, I'm going to walk you through the ins and outs of setting up your first AdWords account. This includes everything from learning about how AdWords works to learning how to optimize your efforts. Along the way, I'll show you how to set up your first text ads to bring targeted visitors to your page. I'll touch on the foundations of selecting and researching appropriate keywords, and we'll explore the intricacies of how campaigns, ad groups, and ads are structured. We'll also explore ways to measure results, including integrating with Google Analytics and setting up remarketing. Together, we'll even be looking at setting up experiments, using advertising extensions, and reviewing key strategies for building converting ads. Whether you're looking to start advertising for your local business or an online storefront, you'll find the skills you need to connect with your customers online all in this course. Let's get started. In this course, we'll be talking about the concepts and strategies behind Google AdWords, and I'll also be showing you step-by-step how to get from setting up an account to measuring and optimizing your campaigns. We'll be using some fictitious websites and accounts to help demonstrate ideas and techniques, and we'll spend quite a bit of time inside the interface itself. Throughout this course, we'll be using terminology specific to online marketing and advertising. As we encounter new terms and concepts, I'll do my best to explain them, but I'm going to assume that you have a foundational understanding of terms such as cost per click, cost per acquisition, click-through rate, and so on. If you'd like to brush up before advancing deeper into AdWords, take a look at Chapter 2 of my course, Online Marketing Fundamentals. I spend several minutes outlining most of the concepts we'll be encountering in this course. Another thing to note before we begin is that the AdWords interface changes fairly often. You might find that a tab name or a button that we're talking about has moved or even been renamed. This is the nature of a constantly changing product. AdWords may introduce new features and shift elements on the screen around in an effort to make the product better and better. Now, it's my goal to keep this course as up-to-date as possible, but if you don't see something exactly as it appears on my screen, it's probably not too far away. I suggest tapping into a nearby menu or clicking on an unfamiliar icon to see if you can find it. Please also consider leaving feedback on this course if you find a page or a screen to be significantly different. You can also reach me on Twitter at Brad Batesel. If you get stuck, have a question, or would like a pointer, feel free to send me a tweet. With that said, I know you're probably eager to roll up your sleeves and dive headfirst into creating your first advertisement. But we're going to spend the next several chapters talking about the framework of Google AdWords. I feel that it's extremely important to know inside and out what goes on behind the scenes, how the process works, and how to get organized before starting. AdWords is a paid platform, and you'll save considerable amounts of money by understanding the ins and outs. At the surface, Google AdWords looks pretty straightforward, but make no mistake, AdWords is an extremely powerful platform used by everyone from small businesses to Fortune 500s. Stray click or an incorrect setting might spell disaster for your project. So I'm asking you to resist the urge to skip through these sections. They're here to set you up for success. Billions of times per day, people turn to Google to look up an answer to a question, discover a new place to visit, find solutions to their problems, and look for products to buy. Google calls these the I want to know, I want to go, I want to do, and I want to buy moments. I prefer to instead consider these a consumer mindset. Every business can solve one or more of these mindsets. A customer that wants to know, well, you can tell them. If they want to go, you can take them. If they want to do, show them how. And if they want to buy, you can sell them. You are the I can tell you, I can take you, I can show you, I can sell you answer to those moments. AdWords is Google's online advertising platform, and it's built to put you in front of a potential customer at the right time with the right message when they're in the right mindset. You'll be creating ads for your business and choosing when you want them to appear in Google or next to relevant search results. The concept is fairly simple. You identify words that are relevant to your products or services, and then AdWords shows your ad on Google when someone searches for these or related words. Let's walk through a scenario together. I'm going to visit google.com and run a search for eyeglass repair. Now, if you've seen some of my other videos, you know I wear glasses. But what you might not know is I'm notorious for breaking them. So in this case, I'm actually looking for an eyeglass repair facility. So once I hit search, Google's going to comb through billions of web pages, blogs, and other listings to find the ones most relevant to my search for eyeglass repair. Now, Google happens to know my location, and it's determined that this service is something that might be valuable to find locally. So here at the top of Google results are some locations that are here in Santa Barbara. Now, these listings don't have an ad label next to them, which indicates to me that they are organic results. People didn't pay to put these listings here. Now, you will notice on the right-hand side, there is the yellow icon labeled ads, and these are all paid placements. Now, look at this number here at the top of the screen. It says about 716,000 results. When you think about that many results, you'll come to the realization that a tiny fraction of eyeglass repair businesses are going to be among the top few page of results. And that's where AdWords comes in. AdWords gives your business visibility even if your website is not in the top result. AdWords can help get your business to appear on Google in front of many potential customers. And it's not just any customer, it's the right customer. In this example, I'm ready to get help fixing my glasses. And here on the right-hand side, the ad that jumps out to me might be this one that says, if we can't repair it, nobody can. Get $5 off your first repair order. Well, that sounds pretty good, and they've got a special deal for me, and so I might be inclined to click on that ad and ignore everything that's going on here on the left-hand side of the screen. Now, this advertiser has done a pretty good job creating this message. They've likely tested variations of this ad copy and headlines to find the combination that works best. And this is what we'll be learning in this course: how to produce an advertisement similar to this that appears in front of the right audience, has the right messaging, and can be tracked so you can see the full value of your effort. So, a user's going to search, click your ad, and if you've done your job right, they become your customer. Now, I've shown you how Google AdWords looks on the desktop, but one thing I want to stress before we go any further is that consumers are increasingly picking up their smartphones for answers. In fact, more Google searches take place on mobile devices than on computers in 10 countries, including the US and Japan. This presents a tremendous opportunity for marketers to reach people throughout all the new touchpoints of a consumer's path to purchase. With that said, I'll be focusing a lot of my attention on how to take advantage of the mobile market as we continue through this course. As an AdWords advertiser, you probably want to know exactly where your advertisements are going to show up. To understand where your ads end up and how they get there, let's start at the top. When you use AdWords, you're gaining access to what is called the Google network. This network is comprised of literally thousands of search and display network websites, as well as the Google search engine itself. The Google network currently reaches more than 80% of all internet users worldwide in more than 30 languages and 100 countries. The Google network is divided into two big areas: the Google Search Network and the Google Display Network. The Search Network includes the familiar text ads in search results. We looked at that type of advertisement in the last movie, but these text ads can also display on Google Maps, Google Shopping, and websites that are search partners. And search partners include hundreds of non-Google websites, such as AOL. To expand further, advertisements that are part of the search network will link your keywords to words or phrases someone has used in their search. It's the easiest to set up, and you can be relatively assured that consumers who have searched are expressing interest and intent. Think back to my example on the eyeglasses. I had intent to get my frames repaired, so the search network was a very valuable place to advertise on. Now, the display network is typically used in conjunction with attention-grabbing visuals. Although you can still opt to run text-based advertisements, display ads are typically banner ads. You've likely encountered these all over the web. Display ads work differently. Instead of targeting based on a keyword a user supplies, Google instead matches your ads to websites with content related to your targeting. So if you were selling a new kitchen gadget, you might display your ads on a website that have kitchen product reviews or websites with recipes. A user hasn't signaled their express interest, but they might become interested and aware of your product based on your display ad. By default, new campaigns will target both networks to give your ads better visibility, but you can use one or the other, and I'll guide you through the decision process later in this course. Let's just quickly summarize the key reasons behind using search and/or display. Search uses text ads and helps in these two key areas, gaining an advantage over organic listings in search and reaching customers actively searching for your specific service or product. As for display uses rich media and/or text ads to help in 4 areas, reaching a wide range of customers with broad interests, building brand awareness and customer loyalty, increasing engagement with customers, and you have the opportunity to choose more specifically where your ads can appear and to what type of audience. We'll discuss more on how to maximize both of these networks once we start building your actual advertisements. There are other search advertising solutions on the web today, but the benefits to using Google AdWords to manage your advertising are immense. AdWords offers tremendous reach, precise targeting, and almost limitless measurability. Google also has tools to help you improve, and let's face it, it's just where most people go to find what they're looking for online. Now, AdWords has many benefits, but I want to focus on the key ones. First is the ability to target your ads. Targeting lets you show your ads to people with specific interests. AdWords offers different ways of targeting, which we'll go over in more detail later. For now, here's a look at the choices that you have with online ads that can make your marketing campaigns even more targeted. First is keywords, and these are words or phrases relevant to your product and service, and they're used to show your ads when customers search for those terms or visit relevant websites. Next, you have your ad location, which allows you to show your ads on search engines, commercial sites, or even personal sites. From there, you have some demographic options: age, location, and language. You also can set the day, time, and frequency, meaning you could show ads during certain hours of the day or certain days of the week. You also have a great opportunity to target devices. This means that you can decide if you want your ads to show on mobile, desktop, or both. Next is the ability to control your budget. There's no minimum to get started with AdWords. You can choose how much you spend per month, per day, and even per ad. And the great thing is, for the most part, you're only going to pay when someone clicks your ad. AdWords is a pay-per-click model, and that has tremendous advantages. You can weed out bad advertisements based on the fact they're simply not getting clicked. You're not paying to discover or find out that your ads are uninteresting. Now, if your landing destination is terrible, but you have a great ad, well, then you have a different problem, which we'll discuss in a future movie. If you've dabbled in SEO, you're aware it takes lots of resources to start ranking for your keywords, and there are literally thousands of keywords that you might want to show up for. Well, that could take years of work and lots of money to accomplish organically. With AdWords, you can jump to the top on the cheap and at a budget that makes sense for your goals. The third key feature is the ability to measure your success. With AdWords, if someone clicks your ad, you'll know. If they clicked your ad and then did something valuable to your business, say purchased your product, downloaded your app, or phoned in an order, you can track that too. By seeing which ads get clicks and which don't, you'll also quickly see where to invest in your campaign. That in turn can boost the return on your investment. You can get other valuable data, including how much it costs you on average for advertising that leads to your customers' online purchases. You can also use analytical tools to learn about your customers' shopping habits. How long, for instance, they tend to research your product before they buy. And finally, it's easy to manage your campaigns. AdWords also offers lots of tools and resources to easily manage and monitor accounts. You can even manage your AdWords account offline with the AdWords Editor, a free, downloadable desktop application that allows you to quickly and conveniently make changes to your account. AdWords also allows you to run keyword research, cost per acquisition analysis, and you can even compare attribution models to understand the value of the customer's path. All in all, AdWords is a great platform, and it's definitely the go-to choice for beginners and professionals alike. If you're weighing your options, I'd recommend you pursue AdWords, especially if this is your first entry into pay-per-click advertising. Before you begin creating your campaign, it's important to learn how AdWords is structured. A well-organized account will be essential in creating effective campaigns that target the right audience and ultimately help you reach more of your advertising goals. AdWords is organized into several tiers: account, campaigns, ad groups, keywords, and the advertisements themselves. At the very top, you have your account, and this is the information you'll establish when you sign up. Your email address, password, and billing information. There's not much you'll do at the account level unless you move into managing AdWords for other clients, and we won't be covering that in this course. An account has to have one campaign and one ad group, but a well-structured account will have multiple campaigns and ad groups. So let's talk about those. So after your account, you'll have campaigns. Think of campaigns as your broad objectives. A campaign will have its own budget and settings that determine when your ad appears. Big picture choices happen at the campaign level. When you're just starting out, it's easiest to think of campaigns much like the structure of your website. If you have an e-commerce store, for example, you might create a campaign for each product type that you carry. A campaign for jackets, one for shoes, one for hat, and so on. Campaigns set up this way give you flexibility. If you have a campaign for jackets and you're going into the winter months, you might increase the overall budgets and bid prices to show more ads to drive more traffic. Within your campaign, you'll have ad groups, and an ad group contains a set of similar ads and keywords that will trigger select advertisements. Ad groups work best when they're focused on a particular theme. So if your campaign was for jackets, your ad group might be for brands of jackets, say Patagonia or North Face. Maybe it's jacket colors or jacket styles, and so on. You could be more broad if necessary. Say for the campaign on shoes, you might start out with an ad group for men's shoes and one for women's shoes. Ad groups are used to point towards specific ads. They'll contain keywords that indicate when the actual advertisement displays. You may be testing a variety of advertisements as they relate to your ad group. If you're using the search network, these ads will have a headline, 2 lines of description, and a URL that the user is being directed to. And we'll talk all about these ads later. As we get closer to building our first advertisement, I want to leave you with these best practices before you get started. First is to start organizing your campaigns and ad groups as you create them. Reorganizing your account will delete any data that you've accumulated, which can make it hard to understand what was performing well. It's always better to start by being too specific than too broad. Consider creating several ad groups that are very targeted. If you aren't getting enough traffic, you can then loosen up that targeting. I'm often asked, well, what's the best way to start out? And truthfully, it's very dependent on your specific business and what your goals are. But if you'd like something to aim for, the best accounts are organized by creating campaigns that contain several ad groups, 2 or 3 ads, and 10 to 35 keywords within each ad group. If you're still scratching your head, just familiarize yourself with the hierarchy of the AdWords structure. We'll be going through each element together in later movies, so don't worry too much if it hasn't clicked yet. It'll really come together once we build our first advertisement. Google is popular because they're good at getting it right. When you go to search for something on Google, you typically find what you're looking for right away. Google is obsessed with making sure everything they display is relevant, and that extends beyond organic results to paid listings as well. Fortunately, this makes for a great opportunity. Users want relevant information, and advertisers want to show relevant answers so that those listings get clicked on. If Google shows the best ads, users come back to Google, and Google profits. For Google, the better the ads they show, the more money they make. So, before we get too much further, let me back up and share with you the context of what we're talking about. I'm here on the Google search page, and I'm going to run a query for iPhone screen repair. Now, this query is important to me as well because I'm not just terrible at breaking my eyeglasses, but apparently I'm just as clumsy with my iPhone. So, we can see there are some ads at the top and some ads along the right-hand side if I scroll down. But how does Google decide the order that these ads appear in? Fundamentally, Google AdWords is an auction-based platform, and by that logic, the person with the highest bid will appear at the top of the page, or in what we call position number 1. So this ad here labeled ad is position number 1, and then if I were to move to the right-hand side of the screen, you can see the additional ads here are now positions 2 and 3. Now you can have a second position at the top of the screen. It really depends on your search query and where you're located. So let's look at this a little bit deeper. In a typical auction, if we had 4 people bidding and the bids were $5, $4, $3, and $2 respectively, you would expect bidder number 1 at $5 to get the best position. But that's not the case. Google factors in a lot of other signals to determine which ads are most useful, and the most useful ads go into a higher position. So at this point, you're likely thinking, well, what are those other factors? Well, first is your expected click-through rate. Google's going to make an educated guess on how often people are going to click on this advertisement. Next, you have your landing page experience. Your advertisement is only useful if your visitor can find what they expect once they click over to your site. We'll talk about the importance of creating a high-quality landing page later, but if you're impatient, the key factors are relevancy, easy to navigate, transparent to the nature of business, and transparent to how you collect and use customer data. That would be your privacy policy and terms and conditions. Next, they determine your ad relevancy by analyzing the language in your ad as it relates to the query. This prevents people from simply buying your way into unrelated keywords. So if the ad was about iPhones and the query or the keyword searched included iPhones, Google's going to go, great, that's relevant. Google also has extensions that you can add to your ad units. For example, you might add a phone number, your domain as a headline, or include recent reviews from customers. And we'll talk more on these later, but the ability to leverage these extensions may increase your quality. So Google takes all of these factors along with your bid and turns it into your ad rank. To help make this a bit more apparent, let's go back to our first example. We had 4 ads with the bids at $5, $4, $3, and $2. Now, let's assign some quality scores to these advertisers. This is their overall quality score, and I'm going to put it as low,